Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to share with you a story about a prank that shattered trust, a moment where love and betrayal collided, and the painful silence that followed when the camera stopped rolling. It's a story of blurred lines, raw emotions, and the kind of regret that lingers long after the laughter fades. Let's dive right into it. I never thought a one-year anniversary could turn into the breaking point of a relationship. For the past 12 months, Liam had been everything I thought I wanted. Charming, funny, attentive, and genuinely sweet. We met through a mutual friend who insisted we'd vibe instantly. And, surprisingly, we did. He had that kind of easy energy, the kind that made you laugh even on your worst days. And I was drawn to it like a moth to a flame. Liam worked as a digital content creator. His whole life revolved around YouTube, TikTok, and all those platforms I barely understood. At first, I admired his creativity. He'd spend hours scripting out silly skits, filming in our apartment, and editing late into the night. I always told him I appreciated how passionate he was about his craft, even if I didn't always get the jokes. Most of them were lighthearted pranks or absurd parodies, the kind of content his followers loved. I wasn't his target audience, but I supported him. He used to say I grounded him. I brought the quiet to his chaos, the calm to his storm. I'm a first-grade teacher. Structure and patience are my life. Liam said watching me work with kids inspired him to be more thoughtful. I believed him. We didn't have the most traditional relationship. Our schedules were often mismatched, and sometimes I felt more like a character in his videos than a girlfriend. He'd film small moments of our life together, our grocery runs, cooking disasters, or just me falling asleep on the couch. Always with my consent, always harmless, until it wasn't. Our anniversary was coming up, and I wanted to do something meaningful. I'd booked us a weekend getaway in the mountains. Just us. No cameras. No edits. Just quiet. When I told Liam, he smiled and said, "That sounds perfect, babe. But let me surprise you too. I've got something planned." I didn't suspect anything. That was my first mistake. The morning of our anniversary, Liam was unusually giddy. He kept checking his phone and grinning to himself, which I chalked up to excitement. He handed me a gift, a photo book he'd made of our year together. Each page had pictures, screenshots of our texts, and small handwritten notes. I teared up reading it. It felt personal, intentional, like he really saw me. "Ready for your surprise?" he asked. He guided me to the living room, where his camera setup was already rolling. "Wait, are we filming this?" I asked, half laughing, half confused. "Just trust me," he said, kissing my forehead. "It's gonna be amazing." I sat down on the couch, and that's when he handed me his phone. "Read these," he said, a mischievous twinkle in his eye. I started scrolling through a text conversation between him and someone named Sasha. The texts were flirtatious. No, beyond flirtatious. They were sexual. At first, I thought maybe I'd misunderstood. But then I saw my name. He had written, "Emma's clueless. I could sneak out tonight." My heart dropped. "What is this?" I asked, my voice already shaking. Liam laughed. Actually laughed. "Babe, it's fake. It's a prank. Sasha's not real." I wrote all of it myself. I didn't speak. I couldn't. My body felt frozen. "It's a reaction video," he explained. Still grinning. "I wanted to see how you'd react. My followers will go nuts over it." I stared at him, trying to process. "You made up fake cheating messages on our anniversary to film my reaction." He frowned. "It's just a joke. Emma, come on." It's content. And just like that, something inside me cracked. I stood up, still holding his phone like it was something poisonous. My hands were trembling, but I wasn't sure if it was anger, shock, or heartbreak. Maybe all three. "Emma," Liam said, trying to laugh it off. "Don't be mad. Seriously, it's not real. I thought you'd freak out a little, then laugh when you realized it was fake." I stared at him. "You thought I'd laugh. It's supposed to be funny. Everyone does pranks like this. You always say I should include more real-life stuff." You thought faking infidelity was real-life content." He stopped talking, for the first time in the 10 minutes since this ridiculous reveal. He looked unsure. I thought you'd get the joke. I let out a quiet, humorless laugh. This wasn't a joke. This was betrayal wearing a costume. Come on, Emma. Don't be dramatic. That word, dramatic, hit me like a slap. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just stared at the man I thought I knew, suddenly seeing someone else. Liam, you set up a camera. You created fake sexts. You wrote that I was clueless on the day we were supposed to celebrate our relationship, but it's all fake, he insisted, his voice rising in frustration. It's not like I actually cheated. It's a prank. I sat back down, slowly, like my knees had given out. Do you even understand what this does to someone? What it feels like to read those messages, to see that name, to feel that twist in your stomach. Even if it's fake, my body didn't know that. My heart didn't know that. He opened his mouth, but I held up a hand. I need time, I said. I need space. I need to not be in this room right now. He followed me as I walked toward the bedroom. Emma, wait. Please don't overreact. It was just supposed to go viral. That's it. I'll delete the footage. I won't post it. I swear. I turned to face him. You were never going to tell me it was a prank unless I reacted big enough for the camera. Were you? He hesitated. That hesitation answered everything. I stayed at my sister's place that night. I didn't take anything except my purse and keys. She asked what happened. And when I told her, she stared at me like she couldn't believe it either. He thought that was funny, she asked, pouring me a glass of wine. I guess he thought it'd make a good video. And what? He expected you to just laugh, hug him and be like, good one, baby. I don't know, I whispered. I think he doesn't see the line anymore, between what's content and what's real life. I barely slept that night. My mind kept replaying the look on his face when I said I needed space. Not regret, not panic, just confusion. Like I was the one being unreasonable. By the next day, the photo book he gave me felt like a cruel setup, a way to lower my guard, to make the prank hit harder. That hurt more than the messages. The following afternoon, he texted me nonstop. Voicemails, messages, even a video of himself apologizing with some sad music in the background. I didn't answer. Then he sent a text that made me freeze. I didn't mean to make you feel hurt, but this is kinda what people do now. It's the price of being with someone in content creation. I thought you knew that. And just like that, I realized maybe I didn't know Liam at all. I didn't respond to Liam's message. I couldn't. There was something so cold in the way he said it. Like my hurt was just a side effect of his career. Like my pain was an acceptable sacrifice for a good engagement rate. I spent the rest of that weekend in a strange fog. I tried to distract myself. Cleaned my sister's kitchen twice. Folded laundry that wasn't mine. Even organized her spice rack alphabetically. Anything but thinking about Liam. But he wasn't easy to block out. Monday morning, I woke up to a dozen DMs from mutual friends. One of them, Noah, sent a message that simply read, "Hey, you okay? I saw Liam's story. If you need to talk, I'm here." I opened Instagram with shaking hands. Liam had posted a black and white selfie, captioned, "Sometimes jokes go too far. I messed up. Hoping she forgives me." Below it, thousands of comments, some sympathetic, some cruel, some asking for the video, and worse, some defending him. "It's just a prank. Lol. Girls are so sensitive. She should have known what she signed up for." This is why dating influencers is hard. And then I realized he had made me the content again. Even in apology, he was fishing for engagement, using my silence to fuel curiosity, turning his guilt into aesthetic grief. I called him. He picked up instantly. "Emma, thank God. I've been losing my mind." "What the hell are you doing?" I snapped. "What do you mean?" "That post. You made it public. You brought strangers into this. I wanted people to know I messed up." "No," I said firmly. "You wanted validation. You wanted people to feel bad for you." He paused. "That's not fair, isn't it?" I asked. "You could have called me. You could have waited. But instead, you made a story out of your screw-up. You don't understand how it works. People expect honesty. Vulnerability. People expect content. That's all this is to you now. His voice dropped. I didn't mean to hurt you, but you did, and you keep doing it. There was a long silence between us. Then he whispered, Are we really done? I didn't answer right away, because truthfully, I didn't know. I still loved him, even now. With all the hurt, part of me wanted to believe he was still the man who made me laugh when I had bad days, who remembered how I liked my tea, who kissed my forehead while I graded papers late at night. But love isn't always enough when trust is broken. The next few days were quiet. I went back to work, tried to smile at my students like my world wasn't unraveling behind my eyes. Every night, I'd sit on my sister's couch and scroll through old pictures. The weekend getaway I had planned, canceled. The framed photo of us at the lake, turned face down. Then, one night, I received a package. It was from Liam. Inside was a small box with a flash drive and a note. I deleted the footage. I didn't post it anywhere, not even backup copies. I'm sorry. I just wanted you to see I meant it. There was no grand gesture, no flowers, no go viral apology, just a quiet envelope and a file that simply said, deleted. For real. MP4. I didn't plug it in, not yet, because deep down, I was still trying to figure out what forgiveness even looked like in a world where love and content had become so dangerously entangled. I kept that flash drive on the edge of my nightstand for a week. I'd glance at it before going to bed, wondering if it held a real apology or just another performance. In the end, I never opened the file. I didn't need to. His actions had already told me everything I needed to know. Liam didn't reach out again after that. No texts. No emails, just silence. At first, it felt like a void, an echo where his voice used to be. But as the days passed, that silence began to feel like space. A space I needed, a space that allowed me to breathe again. The people around me responded in different ways. My sister was furious on my behalf. She wanted to blast him on her own socials, but I begged her not to. I don't want more noise, I said. I just want peace. My coworkers were more subtle. One brought me coffee every morning. Another left little sticky notes on my desk with sweet drawings from her kids. Even my students, without knowing anything, seemed to sense something had shifted in me. One afternoon, a little boy named Theo handed me a crumpled drawing of a big red heart and said, For you, Miss Emma, in case your smile needs help. That made me cry in the teacher's lounge. I wasn't sure what I was grieving more, the loss of the relationship or the loss of who I thought Liam was, because when I looked back, I saw all the signs I had ignored. The way he sometimes exaggerated things I said for a punchline. How he once filmed a private argument and used it in a relationship roast video. The way he always said, Relax, it's just content. I had relaxed too much. I had let my boundaries blur for the sake of love. But love should never require erasing yourself. One Friday evening, 3 weeks after everything fell apart, I got a message from Noah, the mutual friend who had reached out before. He was checking in again, asking if I wanted to grab coffee and catch up. I hesitated. Part of me didn't want to be around anyone who reminded me of that chapter. But Noah had always been kind, level-headed, the kind of guy who never laughed at someone else's expense. So I agreed. We met at a small cafe downtown. I wore a sweater I hadn't worn since before Liam. Something about reclaiming it felt symbolic. Noah gave me a warm smile as I walked in. Hey, stranger. We talked for over 2 hours. Not about Liam, not much anyway, but about life, work, books, and our shared love of terrible reality TV. I laughed more in that one evening than I had in the past month. And as I walked home, coffee in one hand and the wind tugging at my scarf, I realized something important. I wasn't broken, bruised. Yes, betrayed. Absolutely, but not broken. The next day, Liam uploaded a video titled, When You Hurt the Person Who Believed in You. I didn't watch it, but my phone buzzed with messages from people who had. Some said it was heartfelt, others said it was damage control. But the message that stayed with me came from a follower I didn't know. You don't know me, but I saw what happened. I've been there too, and I just want to say, your silence speaks louder than any viral video. Thank you for reminding me that we can walk away, And that's when I knew. I had already told my story, just by choosing not to let someone else write it for me. A month after everything ended, I finally moved back into my own place. My sister offered to help, but I told her I needed to do it alone. It felt like a personal reset, packing away the remnants of a shared life and deciding what deserved to come with me. As I unpacked, I found the photo book Liam had given me on our anniversary, the one filled with sweet captions and memories. For a second, I held it in my hands, unsure whether to toss it or keep it. In the end, I placed it in a box marked lessons. Not trash, not treasure, just something I had to live through. That night, I sat on the floor of my living room, surrounded by half-open boxes and takeout containers. I felt free, not happy. Exactly, but free. And then the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened the door, it was Liam. He looked different, a little thinner, eyes tired. He held nothing in his hands, no flowers, no gifts, not even his phone. "Hey," he said, voice low. "I know I shouldn't be here, but I needed to see you one last time. Not to win you back, just to talk. Please." I stepped aside. We sat opposite each other on the couch, the silence thick between us. "I've been in therapy," he started. 2 weeks now. It's not much. But I realized something. For a long time, I confused love with attention. I thought if people liked the stories I told, then I mattered. But I didn't realize I was turning real people into props. "Especially you." I said nothing. He took a deep breath. "You weren't just my girlfriend. You were the only real thing in my life. And I disrespected that. I know sorry won't fix it. I don't expect forgiveness. But I wanted you to hear me say that. You deserved better." That almost broke me, because he sounded sincere. And because part of me still missed him. "I did love you," I whispered. He nodded. "I know. I didn't know how to carry that properly." We sat in silence for a while after that. Not awkward, just quiet. A different kind of quiet than we'd ever shared before. When he stood to leave, he turned and said, "I won't post anything about this. Ever. This moment, it's yours." And he kept his word. No cryptic captions, no dramatic videos. Just silence. A few weeks later, I was out for a walk when I passed a couple filming a TikTok. The guy was pretending to fall while his girlfriend laughed. I paused and watched them. They seemed happy. Maybe they'd talked about the prank first. Maybe it was real. I didn't know. But for the first time in a long while, I didn't feel bitterness. Just clarity. Love isn't something you capture in 30 seconds for a trend. It's in the parts no one sees. The quiet support. The private apologies. The choices made without an audience. Liam had taught me a painful, necessary truth. Love should never come second to a camera. And more than anything, I'd learned to protect my peace like a boundary, not a luxury. Months passed. Spring melted into summer, and with the change of seasons came a quiet sort of healing. I wasn't waiting for closure anymore. I had made peace with what happened, not because it didn't hurt, but because I had stopped letting it define me. Liam faded from my daily thoughts. I didn't stalk his socials. I didn't revisit old photos. I didn't even talk about him much. Unless someone asked directly, he became what some people were always meant to be. A lesson, not a lifetime. My life became beautifully simple again. Mornings with coffee and sunlight spilling into my apartment. Afternoons filled with sticky-fingered hugs from students. Evenings with books, long walks, and the sound of peace. And then one night, I went on a date. It wasn't a big deal, just dinner with someone I met through a coworker. His name was Alex, and he didn't ask if he could film me. He didn't try to make me laugh for views. He asked how my day was, then really listened. At the end of the night, he walked me home and said, "You're easy to be around." And I realized I hadn't felt that in a long time. I don't know where my story goes from here. I'm not tying it up with a bow, not rushing toward a new love story just to replace the old one. I'm okay being in the in-between. But here's what I do know. Real love doesn't need to be proved online. It doesn't test you just to film your reaction. It doesn't blur the line between truth and content. And most of all, it doesn't come wrapped in apologies that only exist for public approval. So, to anyone listening who's ever felt like their pain was minimized for the sake of entertainment, please hear this. Your boundaries are valid. Your silence can be powerful. And walking away isn't weakness, it's wisdom. You've heard my story. Now I want to hear yours. Have you ever had to choose between love and self-respect? Between being seen and being safe? Tell me in the comments. And if this story spoke to you, if it reminded you of something you've been through, don't forget to subscribe. There's more to come, more voices, more truths, more moments that matter, because love isn't a performance, it's presence. And this was mine. Thanks for tuning in to Reddit Stories. New tales drop daily drama, love, or ghostly glories. Hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you won't miss the next story we tell. Got thoughts to share? Drop them below. We read them all just so you know.